Welcome to the Real Lost Boss podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Real Lost Boss podcast. People have been asking me to do a podcast for ages. I've wanted to do one for ages, just not got round to it. So here we go. Let's have a do. So I'm going to try and do these as regular as I can. They're always going to have a little topic or subject, but if anyone follows me on social media, you know I go off on tangents. I do like to talk. So I don't want them to be scripted. I don't really want to edit them. I just want to, waffle into the camera and see, where they end up. And you know what? For episode 1, I thought I would just basically do a little introduction to the Real Lost Boss and what's led me to being sat here now recording this podcast. So, my name is Neil Scurry. Yes, it's a unique surname. If anyone can remember when we used to have a phone book, uninteresting fact that you'll forget straight away, we were the only Scurry in our phone book. So freak or unique, you decide. By the way, I'm currently sat in the Real Lost Boss office, aka the box room in our house. My name is Neil Scurry. I'm 42 years of age. I was born on the 2nd of September 1980 in Blackpool, Victoria Hospital, and I've lived on the Fylde coast all my life. I've got 5 passions in life. Number 1, obviously got to say the wife. Number 2, Betty, the Lars Rapso, that's my dog. Number 3, caps. Number 4, trainers. You might be able to see a bit of my Jordan collection behind me there. And number 5 is weight loss. Why weight loss? Because up until 9 years ago, I weighed 37 stone and I have since lost half my body weight and maintained that loss for nearly 6 years and counting. I've always been a big guy. Always. I was 9 pounds 3 ounces when I was born. Ouch. And my mum always said when she stuck a bottle in my mouth, it was, and it was gone. So I've always been a big guy. But when I got to 8-9 years of age, that's when my weight really started to rocket. Started high school, went to Garstang High School, 1992, and I was the same size collar shirt then as I am now. I'm currently just under 20 stone. So that kind of gives you, a bit of background to what size I was at high school. Now I am 6'5" tall. I am just a big unit of a guy. Obviously I wasn't 6'5" tall in September 1992. But yeah, my weight just increased and increased and increased. Certainly very obese, high school, into college, and then as an adult, always been morbidly obese. I don't actually know really what my weight kind of has been over the years. I never really weighed myself. Main reason that is I couldn't find scales that would weigh me, but I've got some sort of recollection when I was in my early 20s, I was around 30 stone. And when I started my weight loss journey in February 2014, I was just under 37 stone. I did go to college. I went to uni for a year, dropped out, not interested. I suppose it's lazy mentality, and I am a lazy person, or that is my inners, my genetics is I'm a lazy person. So unless I'm really focused or really, really interested in something, some people, Rachel, my other half, definitely thinks I've got ADHD, but unless I'm really focused on something. Anyway, I dropped out of uni and worked behind the bar in my local pub for years. Absolutely loved it. And I'll be honest with you, if it hadn't been for my weight, I'd probably still be in the hospitality industry now. I did. It's something that I've absolutely, that I loved. I did. I love working behind a bar, but I had to stop because of my weight. I was struggling to stand up for long periods of time, and that was at 23. I then worked in sales, and then in 2013, I did my accountants. 2013 into 2014, I did my accountancy qualifications, worked as a company accountant, and I am now a full-time weight loss coach. So, yeah, been morbidly obese all my life, tried to lose weight, lost track of time. Lost track of times I've tried to lose weight. But yeah, started the weight loss journey I'm on now in February 2014. And yeah, done all right, if I'm being honest with you. Why? I'll go into that in more detail probably in another podcast, but I'll tell you one big reason. I wanted to. And you might be like, well, everyone wants to lose weight. I don't truly believe that. All the previous times I've tried to lose weight was because someone else was pushing me to do it. In 1989, I got dragged to a dietitian, Blackpool Victoria Hospital. I can remember it now. It actually gave me PTSD, I think. Dragged into a dietitian, sat in front of this dietitian. School had sort of mentioned they were worried about my weight. Got to the doctors. Doctors sent me to a dietitian. Sat in front of this dietitian, and this lady held up. I can just remember now. This is where you're going wrong. Neil's been eating this, and she was like French fries, chips, burgers, crisps, whatever, right? And he can't eat that. Right? He needs to be eating this. That was it. That was kind of, honestly, there was like a list. And I'm just like, looking back now, to tell a 9-year-old kid they can't have a McDonald's, it just triggered rebellion. It is what it did. And my mum was a feeder. She was a feeder and a pleaser. So she was never going to stick to it. It makes me angry. Honestly, it makes me angry looking back. One piece of advice that dietitian gave my mum, which she did follow, was Neil should take packed lunches rather than having school dinners. There was no Jamie Oliver in 1989. School dinners were bloody brilliant. Yeah, they hadn't been ruined at that point. We are talking like chocolate sponge with mint custard and, chips every day. Lovely. Anyway, but yeah, take a packed lunch. I remember my first packed lunch. There's certain things that sit in my memory. And like I say, my mum was a feeder and a pleaser. My first packed lunch, 2 great big cheese and ham butties. 2. I'm 9 years of age. 2 butties. I only have 1 butty now. 2. 2 sandwiches, cheese and ham and butter on. Bag of crisps, 2-finger Kit Kat, club biscuit, an apple, and a can of Diet Tizer. I remember it well. Again, looking back now and knowing what I know now, I guarantee the packed lunches my mum sent me to school with were definitely way more calorific than portion controlled school dinners, although the school dinners obviously weren't, the healthiest things in the world. Anyway. There we go. So yeah, always been pushed to lose weight. Like I say, school teachers, doctors, dietitians, family, friends. My mum and dad, actually, to be honest with you, never ever, for the rights or wrongs of it, put pressure on me to lose weight. They, or not that I can remember, but everyone else, yeah, all right, you need to lose weight now. And again, I think I've always had that little rebellious streak. 2014, I wanted to. Why? I was rock bottom. I always said, I enjoyed being the big guy. I enjoyed being overweight, like a lot of people do. No, they don't. No one does. It's brutal. It's harsh. I never actually realised what my obesity did to me physically and mentally and how it held me back until I've lost the weight. But it is, especially as a kid, it's so, so brutal. Anyway, 2014, my mental health was rock bottom. Again, I'll do another podcast on that and go into a bit more depth. But my mental health was rock bottom and my physical health was. I was struggling some days to get out of bed. Hips, knees, back, plantar fasciitis, and depression. And I was struggling to get out of bed. I really, really was. I was self-medicating myself with alcohol and food. And I think some of my friends wouldn't believe the issues I went through or was going through because I was always the clown. You'll find that, again, with a lot of overweight people, They are the jokers, and it's a defense mechanism. I was the same, you know. People won't like me because I'm so fat, but they'll like me because I'm funny. So I always put a brave face on, and I spent a lot of time in the pub. And again, alcohol was a distraction. It self-medicated, not in a good way, but it did. So I drank too much, I ate too much, and yeah, I was rock bottom. And I decided to make a change. And my father had passed away 6 months before I started my weight loss journey. So January 2014, I did dry January. I've pretty much done that every year since, but at the time it was a big deal. And again, loads of doubters. I did it. I got sponsored to do it. I raised money for cancer research because my dad passed away with cancer. And once I'd proven to myself I didn't need alcohol, so I did that for January, and then in February, I worked on my eating. Now, I didn't quit alcohol. I just wanted to prove to myself I could control it. February 2014, I started on my weight loss journey, and over the next 3 years, 9 months, I lost half my body weight. I went from, I say half my body weight, maybe not quite. I was just under 37 stone when I started. And when I actively stopped losing weight or really focusing on weight loss as the main focus, in November 2017, 3 years, 9 months, I was 20 stone, 5 pounds. Why did I stop losing weight at 20 stone, 5 pounds? I'm 6'5". I'm a big guy, and my end goal was always about 15 stone. I looked at the BMI scale, and in November 2017, a guy who joined the gym. I go to Ribby Hall Village in Kirkham. Ray Green, Neil. I say it's in Kirkham. If you're posh, it's in Ray Green. Anyway, if anyone knows Ribby Hall Village. So I go to Ribby Hall Village. I've been a member there since June 2014. Something I added into my lifestyle was doing some regular exercise. And a guy joined, I don't know, maybe August 2017. And it was one of them. He always seemed to train at the same time as I trained. So if we passed each other in the gym, you'd always do that slightly awkward. Oh, all right, mate. All right, mate. You're all right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. That was it, right? And then one day, 2017, November, we met together in the changing rooms. We just obviously finished our session at the same time. I'd gone for a shower, maybe a dip in the pool. And it was like, oh, I've been wanting to have a chat with you. You're the guy that's lost the weight, blah, 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 blah. You might see behind me, there's the middle thing up there. I won Member of the Year at the gym, and I'd lost all my weight while being a member at Ribby Hall Village. Not through exercise. Again, that might be for another podcast. But anyway, so everyone sort of knew me. And I went on a regular basis. And again, I've always been a people person, always got involved in everything. So I love the gym. It's as much a social thing for me as it is about training, but I love it. Anyway, so I met him and he was like, yeah, someone's told me about you. You've lost all this weight, blah, blah, blah. I'd noticed that you had some loose skin, so I had asked a couple of people about it. And he said, so what's your goal now? I said, probably another 4 or 5 stone weight loss. He said, what? He said, well, what you weigh now? I said, I'm 20 stone, 5 pounds. He said, how tall are you? I said, 6'5". He said, mate, he said, I'm 6'3". And he had a great physique, by the way. I am straight, but I definitely had a little man crush on him. Honestly, he had a great physique. He was 6'3", built like an absolute brick. It's house. And he was a rugby player. And he was like, mate, I'm 20 stone, 9 pounds, I think he said he was. So he was heavier than me, slightly shorter than me, and had this great physique. And I just, you're very easily influenced by people like that. And he went, just start concentrating now on changing your body composition, losing a bit more body fat. Again, I had no idea what calorie deficit was at the time. Losing a bit of body fat, increasing your muscle, changing your body composition, your current weight's absolutely fine. I took on board what he was saying. And that was it. That's when I actively stopped losing weight. Now, at the time, I just started at high school. Definitely not. That was done a good few years ago. I started at night school to do my level 2 and level 3. My level 2 fitness instructor, my level 3 personal training. Why? Passion for weight loss. From probably 3 to 4 months into my weight loss journey, I was quite vocal about it. I talked about it all the time. And people saw that I was at it. Yeah, I was losing weight. I was being consistent. Obviously a lot of doubters at the beginning. People used to come up to me in the pub. Yes, I still went to the pub on a regular basis every Friday night, just for a couple of pints. It's one of my big sort of things about weight loss. If you try to lose weight or live life, you're going to fail at both. You've got to run them both side by side. So I still went to the pub, and every time I went to the pub, it was weight loss related, certainly after a few months. People that were half my body weight or more were asking me about weight loss. Like, how are you doing it? How are you sticking at it? Because they could see the changes I was making. And, people go to me, oh, you must be absolutely fed up. You must hate, all these weight loss. And do you know what? I didn't. I loved it. I loved it then, and I love it now. And I knew I wanted to help other people lose weight. Someone that's lived so much of their life as an overweight person and, understands how brutal it is. But then once you lose the weight, you understand how much it changes your life for the better. I just wanted to help other people and show them. Again, when I started my weight loss journey, I went down a path of just doing it totally different. And I created my own approach to it. And I'm a big believer that approach has led, or is a major factor that's led to my success. And it's how I coach my current clients now. I wanted to help people lose weight. And I knew the quickest route into that was to become a personal trainer. So I went to high school, did my level 2, started September 2017, qualified May 2018, level 2 fitness instructing, level 3 personal training. Started working part-time as a personal trainer, running my own little business at Ribby Hall Village. And after 6 months, I handed my notice in at my job. It was a big decision at the time. It was mental at the time. I'm literally like 4.5 years ago, I couldn't get out of bed some morning. I was struggling to move about, right? And now I'm quitting my job to become a personal trainer. And I look back now and I still think it's flipping mental. But anyway, that's what I did. January 2019, I became a full-time personal trainer. But there was something missing. Personal training is not about weight loss. Personal training is about exercise. It's about learning how to exercise properly, how to do different exercises correctly, how to put a routine together. Now, don't get me wrong, personal trainers should live healthy lifestyles. They should know about basic nutrition. But it's totally different to weight loss. And I've just felt I was in that. I wanted to help people lose weight, but really I was just helping people to exercise. And obviously there's a lot of, there's a mindset that exercise is the main catalyst to weight loss. And it isn't. I thought that when I started my journey. But over the years, I've learned that it isn't. But there was always something missing. I love personal training. Now, one big benefit of a personal trainer was I lost another 2 stone unintentionally. From like May 2018, I've always tracked my calories. I've always been more responsible with what I was eating. But from like May 2018, when I started personal training, and certainly through 2019, I always track my calories Monday to Friday, quite, on it, 3,000 calories a day. Weekend, I used to guesstimate calories quite a bit. I'd just be like, right, I'm going to have this, and this today. And I quite often pre-track. I just plan my day's eating, put it all into my app and crack on. And, I did things like putting half a Papa John's pizza and I'd eat the whole thing. I was never as accurate as I should be. I still lost another 2 stone in weight, and I went down to around about 18 stone as a personal trainer. Why? Because I was burning so many calories. I was running around the gym doing 40 odd hours a week, 40 PT sessions a week. Definitely one bonus. But I always felt there was something missing. March 2020. Worldwide pandemic, boom! And suddenly gyms are shut and my job's gone, my business is gone. And at the time of setting up my business, it just was a bit late to get help with, like furlough or, self-employed furlough. Couldn't get it. And I'm panicking. And that's when I really launched the Real Loss Boss. I said to Rachel, I was like, I don't know what to do. She said, well, do some online stuff. That's what everyone seems to do. Everyone's doing online personal training. So I started working with clients, they had an iPad in their house. I had an iPad in my house. And I'm there telling him to sit up and down off a chair. And again, it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. It's not what I wanted to do. So I started, posting content, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, very little engagement. And if I don't get engagement, I struggle for motivation. At the same time, I started working on an online plan for my one-to-one PT clients, because I was like, right, in the gym, I'll teach them how to exercise. Outside the gym, they can follow the plan for weight loss. Excuse me, I told you these aren't going to be edited or scripted in any way. Little windy pops. And, I wanted to, teach them or show them the way to lose weight. So I wrote a plan based on the basic principles I use, the one that I still use today to help coach my one-to-one online clients. And that was the thing. And it never took off. We were in and out of lockdown in 2020, started PTing again. Then the online stuff went to the back burner. Then we went into lockdown again. Then I started working on it again. January 2021, lockdown again. And I'm just in bits at this point. I'm like, I'm not earning any money. I've earned no money last year. I'd invested 12 grand building my own little gym behind the house. And now I can't use it because we're in lockdown again. My mental health was suffering. And Rachel said, why don't you do TikTok? I went, what? Can't dance, love. Not happening. She went, trust me, she'd been on it for about 3-4 months. Absolutely loved it. I'd not really downloaded it. And she said, trust me, people are posting all sorts. She said, get on there, post some weight loss stuff. Went on TikTok, and you know what? Started getting engagement. As soon as I started getting engagement and people were commenting and liking and sharing, I'm in. Built up a bit of a following. The plans I'd written to work with my one-to-one clients, I advertised them online. Who wants one of my weight loss plans? And on the first Monday of May 2021, I took on my first clients, and my first ever one-to-one weight loss, one-to-one online client lost £200. Boom, loved it. Got a passion helping people to lose weight. And over the last couple of years, I've toned down the one-to-one PT to the point where last Christmas, fully retired, and now I just work full-time as a one-to-one. Well, not a one-to-one, as an online weight loss coach. So I do content, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast now. I have one-to-one online clients. And I also have a Boss Your Weight Loss community. So Boss Your is like my thing. So I've got Boss Your Weight Loss. That's the online weight loss. I've got Boss Your Diet, which are my online e-cookbooks. I've got Boss Your Workouts, which are my online training plans. And I also have Boss Your Protein, which are my online, mystery protein boxes. Little plug, head to www.thereallossboss.net if you want to have a look at all my bits and pieces. But anyway, there you go. That's how it is. May 2023. That is how I've ended up here. How's my weight doing? Am I still actively losing weight? Question I get asked. Yeah, I am actually, and I'll tell you why. So I lost however much weight up to November 2017. Unintentionally, I lost another couple of stone over the next few years. Since retiring as a one-to-one PT, or really toning it down over 2022, I have gained some weight back. I've crept back up to around the 20 stone mark, which I'm all right with, if I'm being honest with you. My body fat's a lot less than it was when I stopped in November 2017, but my joints are worse. I've got arthritis, and so I am on a little bit of a weight loss journey at the moment. I want to get down to 19 stone really, and that'll be if I can just take another 12, 14 pounds off my frame, for no other reason than to help my lower limbs really. And there we go. So that is a brief introduction to The Real Lost Boss and how I've kind of ended up here. Please like, subscribe. I suppose you meant to say that through these podcasts before we get to the end, because you might not have made it to the end. And obviously, if there are any topics you'd love me to cover in these podcasts, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can write it in the comments, or you can drop me an email, info@thereallostboss.com. But I would just like to say thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this a little bit informative. And here's to podcast 2.